Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'll be covering an update or a part 3 to a very popular story which began last week, which is titled, My High School Crush Rejected Me to Have Her Hose Phase. Now she wants to settle and I'm rejecting her. And guys, I'm not going to do a recap because you all know what's going on here, but to no surprise, there's more drama going on with Miss Olivia. You all know how it ended last time when the guy thought that maybe this will be it for a little while in the drama department. Nope, we're just getting started. This update here is, well, Olivia reached out to our guy here, Antonio, codename Antonio, with a very long letter trying to explain her side of things and all that. And you all recall how manipulative she can be amongst many other things. And he's sharing the whole thing here, and I thought it's pretty entertaining. So for those of you that thought, we're not going to get too far any updates here or something Olivia's going to pull out of her, you know what? Well, you're right. Here you go. So he says here, Hola SSM. Well, that's about as much Spanish as I know. This is Antonio. I wasn't planning to write you again anytime soon, but something happened I thought you might be worth giving you an update. Remember when I said Olivia had counseling sessions next week? My mom told me that. She was wrong, apparently. Olivia's dad, Jorge, had scheduled appointments for her with a Christian counselor who's a friend of his. Here you go. What'd I tell you? She's on her way to becoming a born-again virgin. From what Fiona told me, remember Fiona's the little sister who has the hots for him, she offered free sessions at her home on the weekends. Olivia is still at her parents' and attended those sessions this Saturday and Sunday. Well, I really didn't expect her situation to get any worse, but apparently it did. Of course it got worse. I expected that. The brothers expected that. But I'll get to that in a moment. On Saturday night, I was just relaxing and working on some hack-the-box labs when I received a long email from Olivia. I used the translator to convert it into English. I've also modified some details to maintain anonymity, so a few things might sound a little bit odd. I know I was being a simp and deserve every slap you give me, but go a little easy on me. I have a dentist appointment later this week. Well, no, I can smack you now. That way the dentist can fix the damage from the slaps you're going to get. Now here is a very long, this is the email that Olivia sent him explaining everything. And it's not 18 pages front and back, but it's pretty long. She says here, Hello, Antonio. It's Olivia. Don't worry, I'm not trying to bother you again. And yet, you are bothering him, Olivia. I started counseling today. After talking to Mrs. Vasquez, I realized how badly I've treated you in the past. I wanted to apologize and explain my side of things in this email. I know you probably hate me now, but I hope you'll read this. They always say that. Don't be mad at me. Don't hate me. Valentine's Day is coming up soon. Do you remember that 10 years ago, on that day, you asked me to be your girlfriend once? You were so nervous, your hands were shaking, when you handed me a yellow card and then ran away. The card said, Will you be my girlfriend? It was very cute. I still have that card. I rejected you back then, not because I didn't like you. I did, but I was afraid to change. We grew up almost like siblings. I won't say that you were like a brother to me because I knew how you felt back then in elementary school, but we were still just kids. Right there, that's the only truthful thing, well, partially truthful. We grew up almost like siblings, she said. What I say, when a girl sees a guy as like their friends long enough, she starts seeing him like a brother. She didn't want to say you were a brother to me back then to hurt your feelings, but that's what you were. And guess what? That's why she didn't get involved with you, not because rules from her dad or stuff like that. I was afraid that bringing romance into our relationship might ruin what we had. After that, you avoided me for a while, and I was scared of losing you. Then one day you came to me with ice cream and said we should be friends again. I know you didn't really want that, you just didn't want to lose me, the same way I didn't want to lose you. Mrs. Vasquez told me that maybe that was the moment when I started believing that no matter what happened, you'd always come back to me. Probably. You know? I mean, well, think about it, guys. And we're here to learn things, so I'm going to interrupt. You express interest in a woman, romantically. You ask her out. She turns you down. Okay. As long as she isn't a mean a-hole about it. Okay. No problem. Don't get offended. But that doesn't mean you stay friends with her. Because if you stay friends with her, then that tells her, Oh, I can always keep this guy in the friend zone. I can jerk him around. But if you just say, I'm not interested in friendship and just, hey, let me know later on if you're interested, if I'm free, and walk away, that's that. Don't be her friend. Then maybe I wouldn't, frankly, if somebody rejects me, I wouldn't take them back. But anyhow, you stay in the friend zone right here. They think you always come back. Well, going on with her email, during our first year of bachelorado, the Spanish equivalent of high school, he asked me out again on the same date. You probably won't believe me, but I was very close to accepting. But I didn't. You know how protective my dad is. I understand now that his actions were meant to protect me, but at the same time I resented him. I envied my friends who were dating and partying. I wanted that freedom, and after talking with Elena, I thought university would finally give me that freedom. See, this is crap. When she says that basically she almost accepted him asking her out, but she didn't because of her protective dad. That didn't stop her from going through her massive triple-digit hose phase, amongst many other things. Right? I mean, come on here. I didn't want to tie myself down. You wanted other guys to tie yourself down, Olivia. I wanted to date other people and live freely, so I rejected you again. I even said you weren't my type just to make you stop trying. I knew she was doing that. I couldn't see how much it hurt you. I could see how much it hurt you. That time though, you didn't give me the cold shoulder. We went back to normal almost immediately, but I could still tell you were trying to win me over. You might not believe it, but I was already second guessing my decision. I highly doubt that. Because she always knew this guy, her perception of our guy here is that he would always be around. She could keep rejecting him, having her hose phase, and deep down the back of her mind, when I'm finally done that, then I can go back to Antonio. Because he's always going to be there. That's why you don't remain in the friend zone, guys. You get jerked around. Then university started. The environment was exactly how Elena had described it. Remember, guys, Elena's the cousin who's a hoe bag, who this girl blamed for her hose phase. On my first day in the dorm, I went shopping and bought a dress that was much more revealing than what I usually wore. My roommates came from backgrounds where partying and casual relationships were normal for them. 2 days after moving in, they took me to a club near campus, and I wore that outfit. Soon, a couple of guys approached us and bought us drinks. They were seniors at the university. Well, you can see where this is going. She says, at first, I felt embarrassed and overwhelmed by the attention, but I also liked it. I ended up leaving with one of them and lost my virginity that night. Afterwards, the first person who came to my mind was you. I felt overwhelming guilt, left this place, and cried when I got back to the dorm. You probably don't remember, but I called you at 3 o'clock in the morning and you picked up. Yeah, she's hooking up with a senior, but then she calls this guy to cry and talk to. Hence the guy in the friend zone. You should have picked up at 3 o'clock in the morning, dude. Smack! Should have smacked you earlier. But then you're going to the dentist, so I don't want him to yell at you. When you heard I was upset, you asked what was wrong. I made up an excuse about my stomach problems. Yeah, because she's got Javier's love juice in her stomach. You even offered to come over. You always have been like that. When we were kids, you cried more than I did when I got hurt, and whenever I wanted something, you tried to get it for me. Did she just say you cried more than she did when she got hurt? Smack! Dude, you need to see that movie Just Friends and Ryan Reynolds. It'll explain everything. Mrs. Vasquez says I might have been seeking reassurance from you that no matter what I did, you'd still be there. Well, she's hooking up with Javier the senior, and she calls this guy to cry at 3 o'clock in the morning. He predictably you picked up Antonio, and we're willing to rush over there and be there for her. Never do that. After that, my guilt slowly faded. I bought more clothes like that and went to parties and clubbing more often. I met more guys, and this became routine. The attention, ding, 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 freedom, and the sex became addictive. Hence, this is the perfect example of being unable to pair bond after so much of this. And by the way, when does this girl go to school or do what she was supposed to be doing that her dad was probably paying for? You're not a party person, so I'm glad you never saw any of it directly, but I know that you started hearing things from others. You came to me several times asking me to stop, and I felt like you were trying to restrict my freedom like my dad. So I lashed out at you. I never apologized for that, and I'm really sorry for the things I said, Antonio. What's done is done. She's only sorry now because her life's turned to dog crap. It would have been one thing if she was sorry then and, behaved differently. Then one day you called and asked if I slept with Jose. Fake name, of course. Like I told you then, I didn't know he was your roommate. I would never intentionally do that to you. That day, for the first time and only time, you raised your voice at me. You called me a WHORE and said many hurtful things. I didn't respond because it was so out of character for you, and I could tell you were holding back tears. Never let your enemies see you bleed, and never let the girl see you cry. After the call ended, I felt like a terrible person. When you said you were done with this, I panicked. I tried reaching out, but you weren't answering my calls. When you texted me the next day apologizing, I thought it was just temporary outburst and everything would return to normal, but it did not. You started distancing yourself. We hung out less, you answered my calls less often, and our conversations became short. I think that's when I truly lost you, though I convinced myself it was temporary. You were just angry, and you'd come around. Yeah, in her mind, he's still going to be around for me when I'm done my hose phase. And I can treat him however I want to treat him. He'll still always be around. That's usually how it goes with most nice guy types. Except our Antonio here had enough and moved on. Then I saw you moving on. Your Instagram used to be full of pictures of us, and you deleted them. You started making new friends, posting gym selfies, and eventually stopped dating. Hang on. Did she just say you were posting gym selfies? You were that guy? Smack! Dude, that's what chicks do. If you're a personal trainer building a business, okay, I get you doing some curls or bench press, but you're just posting gym selfies in the locker room with your shirt off. No, don't be that guy. When you began posting photos with other women, I felt awful. I wanted to call you and yell at you, but I was too proud and didn't want to look petty. She wants to call and yell at you because you were going out with other chicks and moving on from her and taking pictures of other chicks online. And really? Is that what she was saying here? She doesn't want you, but nobody else can have you because you're meant to be on layaway. I convinced myself that we were both just having fun and would eventually find our way back to each other. Aren't you like brother and sister types in her eyes? So what do you mean find your way back to each other? But then you started dating Sophie. And you were clearly in love with her. When I saw your relationship status, I nearly had a panic attack and stayed in my dorm room for a week. It finally sank in that you had truly moved on. Oh, poor baby. She had plenty of opportunities with our guy Antonio here. Nope. Because she wasn't interested. But she wanted to keep him on layaway just in case. I thought about contacting you, but I didn't want to interfere with your relationship or ruin what little connection we still had. Sure, honey. I fell into depression and tried to fill the void you left. What? Filled it with Spanish dick? I started going out even more and downloading dating apps. Mrs. Vasquez says alcohol and SCX became coping mechanisms for me back then. My grades suffered. I contacted chlamydia once. Oh, okay. As long as it's once, no big deal. And when I told you I had a pregnancy scare, I wasn't completely honest. I was actually pregnant and had the procedure. I didn't want to do it, but the father was a Nigerian tourist I met at a bar, and I didn't even have his contact information. Oh, God. I knew my dad would never accept a child with an unknown father, and I can't give a child a proper home, so I made that decision. The worst thing happened when I met a guy on Bumble. What, that wasn't the worst thing? He recorded us during SCX and later uploaded the videos to Pornhub without my consent. What I tell you guys, sooner or later, something's going to come about videos online. The video was shared in some university private groups. I started receiving nasty messages on social media and had to delete my accounts. When I confronted him and threatened to go to the police, he threatened to spread the video even further. I was terrified of my family finding out, so I didn't take action. I felt completely hopeless. The first person I wanted to contact was you. Yeah, tell the guy that was in love with her his whole life. Help me, please. There's a porn video of me out there. Yeah, you'll jump right at that. I remember how you always protected me, but I didn't want to bother you, so I stayed silent. That experience traumatized me, and I try to step away from that lifestyle. Tried? Do or do not, Olivia. There is no try. Fucking Yoda would be here whacking her with his little cane. As you know, I later had a boyfriend. He had a lot of boyfriends, honey. I dated Luis because he reminded me of you. But that wasn't fair to him because he wasn't you, so we broke up later. Oh, she's using another guy. Later on, I heard that you had broken up with your girl. I didn't want to see you with someone else again, so I confessed my feelings, and everything fell apart. I thought you were just angry at how I treated you, but now I realize the boy who loved me more than anything doesn't exist anymore, and it's all my fault. Antonio, I regret everything. If I could go back in time, I would do things differently. I'd tell my 12-year-old self not to hesitate about you, and some changes might become the best decision you'd ever make. I'd tell my 17-year-old self that hooking up with strangers who see as nothing more than an object isn't freedom, and not to take your love for granted. Well, there's no such thing as time travel as far as I know, so you're wasting your time with this if I could go back in time shit. I sometimes wonder what would have happened if I said yes 10 years ago. Maybe my life would have been much happier. Maybe that baby would have had a wonderful life and a caring father. I've decided to stay celibate for a while, and I'm working on becoming a better person. We're going to get the born-again virgin story soon enough, guys. I know you think I'm disgusting and hate me, but I'd do anything for another chance from you. I'd never hurt you again and would make you the happiest man in the entire world. And if I can't do that, I at least hope we can still be friends. If you ever need me, I'd give up everything there to be with you. Please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you for reading, Olivia. Oh, for goodness sake. Remember, guys, how our boy Antonio's stories went in part 1 and 2? That clearly show you just how skilled she is at manipulation and bullshit and all that. But here's the thing. A very skillful liar and manipulator will twist in elements of truth in their bullshit. And so there's, I'm sure, elements of truth to this whole thing. But at the end of the day, no. She didn't get with Antonio when she was younger because she saw him as a friend. They grew up together. And I got no problem with that. I really don't. He was like her brother. So this whole crap, her saying basically, I really had feelings for you back then. No. He was her brother, and she's only panicking now because he was her backup plan. You know, I do believe that he was her backup plan. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like stashing away some money in case of emergency, and then finding out that there's a chance that money's going to go away or something like that. Yeah. He says here, well, that was something. I cringed reading all that. Well, we have mixed reactions, Antonio. This girl not only got pregnant, but also ended up with an SEX tape on Pornhub. What am I going to hear next? She's also a hooker and a drug dealer. It ain't over yet, man. I honestly feel bad for her dad. He didn't deserve all this. Last night I spoke with her sister Fiona, and she said Olivia confessed everything about the video, and Jorge's plans to take legal action against the guy to get it removed. Good luck with that. Once it's up there, it spreads. But it is the internet. If it made it onto PORN Hub, it's probably already spread across many other sites by now. I had no idea about the video until now. I asked a few friends, and some of them knew about it. They all thought I already knew. It became a decently popular scandal. I really need to socialize more. So, bro, you're telling me about this. You're telling us about this. And you didn't even have the decency to send me the link to that video? Really, dude? Not that I would share it with the brothers. I couldn't do that, but I'm fucking curious. I want to know what this chick looks like. One SOB even had a link saved and shared it. Right there. Where's my link? I want to at least know what this girl looks like. I watched it, and honestly, I think I lost whatever little respect I still had for Olivia. I wonder if she was always like this, but because this was not the girl I remembered, I just hope nobody in her family ever sees the video. I wrote a short reply to that dramatic email. Okay, now, I'm going to read you his reply. Now, you remember how long her freaking email was to him. Now, here's his reply. You can set the timer. Go. He says, first, how did you get my email? Second, I don't hate you, Olivia. Whatever feelings I once had for you are long gone. Let's end this drama and move on with our respective lives. I hope you work on yourself and become a better person for your sake and for your family. You should also talk to your dad about the sex tape ASAP and report this to the authorities. This is a serious matter. Regards, Antonio. There you go. What was it, like 37 seconds or something like that? Short and sweet. She was probably expecting a long thing and everything. Boom. One small paragraph. It says, now to address some comments that people made in the previous videos. Many suggest I should cut contact with Olivia's family, but I cannot do that. They're more than just neighbors to me. I said it multiple times already. They're family to me. I won't go into details because this email is already too long, but without Olivia's dad, my family could have been in serious trouble. There's a big reason our families are so close. Also, after my parents converted from Hinduism to Christianity, much of our extended family distanced themselves from us. Well, that sucks. Then again, maybe it doesn't suck because they're assholes. Some relatives still communicate, but I've never met my grandparents, and since childhood, I've called Olivia's grandparents Grandma and Grandpa. That is how close we are. This drama with Olivia isn't enough to break those ties. Well, then you shouldn't. I said in the last video, don't get, obviously, avoid Olivia like the plague. Do not get involved with the little sister. I'll come back in a second. But her dad, Jorge, has been awesome to you. You don't want to ruin that, you know? Second, Fiona. Oh, here we go. Little sister has the hots for our guy, Antonio. SSM said I shouldn't get involved with her, while most comments suggested I should just bang her. Don't get involved with her, dude. Let me make this clear. I'm not going to pump and dump her. As for whether I should pursue anything, I honestly don't want to think about it right now. My mom keeps pushing me to give Fiona a chance because she wants to see me married. Mom, she's 18, for heaven's sake. She apparently knew that Fiona liked me, but she thought I had feelings for Olivia, so she didn't say anything. What the heck is this, some kind of rom-com? Yes, a lot of women want life to be a rom-com. No, you should not get involved with Fiona. I keep thinking of the movie Euro Trip when I hear Fiona. No, you should not get involved with Fiona. You shouldn't bang Fiona. I would avoid Fiona. I mean, Fiona's done nothing wrong to you, so you can be friendly, but that's that. You don't need that drama, dude. I just did a video on the They Did What channel earlier about a guy who inadvertently, unintentionally got revenge on his ex by getting together with her sister. And they're getting married. And I wouldn't have recommended that, but he's happy for now. And talk about serious revenge. But drama. You don't need that, brother. My dad, though, is finally on my side and told her to give me a rest and let me focus on my studies, which is exactly what I plan to do. I still talk to Fiona, and she knows I'm not ready for anything, so she does not push the topic. She calls me more often now, and she's nice to talk to. Yeah, she doesn't push the topic, but she's chasing you more. I mean, it's always a great position for a guy to have a pretty girl chasing after him. He literally doesn't have to do shit, and they chase and chase and chase. But, and that can be flattering, but don't get involved with fucking Fiona. No. I'm sure you can get some ass anywhere else, dude. It's not worth it. And don't mess with her. She calls me more and more, and it's nice to talk to her. I don't see a reason to stop talking to her, but right now, I just want to focus on my upcoming exam. Nothing more. I won't have to send you another update anytime soon, if ever. Regards, Antonio. Well, brother Antonio, I have a feeling we'll be hearing from you soon. It may not be in 4 days, but I'm sure there'll be more stuff going on because Olivia does not back down. She was probably hoping that she's probably getting that off her chest, that big long email, 18 pages front and back, little Friends reference there. But that's not going to give her the desired results, so she'll be back. There'll be something, and I know there'll be the born-again virgin thing and nonsense like that, or more spicy stuff coming out, or maybe she's a drug dealer. I don't know. It's not going to stop. But I'm so happy that you've not fallen into the nice guy trap, the white knight trap, that you're the guy who's going to come and save her. I like the fact that when you were younger, obviously a few years ago, you really got to see her for who she was, and you were just so that it wiped out all attraction and emotional attachment you had to her, and you're able to move on. Look what happened when you finally let go of that attachment for Olivia. I mean, it took you seeing her for what she was for you to lose the attachment. You suddenly moved on, better in school, hitting the gym, transforming your body, new girls, girlfriend, better experiences. That's good. That's what happens when you don't have attachments to things. You know, you're not held back. So yes, focus on studying for that exam and kick ass in that exam and finishing up school and all the other things you do. And don't let yourself become attached to any girls. Okay? Let them become attached to you. And the funny thing is, the more you back away, the more they chase after you. You got Olivia chasing after you. You got Fiona chasing after you. If shit, man, I'm sure somebody's thinking, damn, if Olivia didn't quite have the body count, man, you're talking about some threesome action here. I'm kidding. Don't fucking think about that. Although I know some people are thinking about that. So, brother, good luck. Report in the future any new developments. But, just be careful. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sure you like the video. Share it with your friends and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.